welcome everybody. Welcome to our session 0 of our new Lightbringer series. If any of you caught our mini-series in November, I believe it was, this is the continuation of that story, but we're a few hundred years past the events of that. If you would like to catch up on this series at any point and see kind of where it all started, you can do so on our YouTube channel, which is... Let me just get the link in there. I really need to get a shortcut for that. There you go. So that's our YouTube channel. You can just look up the Lightbringer Descent playlist, and that's the whole little mini-series there. But I'll explain a little bit about the... Hey, thanks for that host, Gwen. I'll explain a little bit about the world now and where it came from and everything in just a moment. Before we jump into world lore and explaining characters and whatnot, a few things to cover. One is our tweet. So if you would like to help out the cast and me as the GM, every 5 interactions on that tweet there that's saying we're going live, and that includes retweets, comments, and likes, a D4 is gifted to the cast and to the GM to use at any point on any roll. If you would like to interact with the story and things in other ways, there's a couple different ways that you can do that. One is through direct donations, either through bits, Streamlabs, subscriptions, or I think that's actually about it. Coffee. You can also go donate through Coffee. You'll notice right about here, underneath my face here, there's a whole list of different things that you can do. So for $2, you can add 1d6 to a roll, which again, it goes to you can choose the cast or the GM. And at any point, if a roll just wasn't quite there, or we really want it to succeed, we can use that d6 on a roll. Other things that you can do are a switch. The switches are really fun. You get to switch the action word. So you give that to the cast or the GM. So let's say, for example, I got the switch, and one of our characters said, I'm going to try to, charm this person into doing something. I can say switch, and they have to replace charm with something else. So switches are really fun. The $5 is rolling with advantage, which means you get to roll twice and take the better of either roll. You have to do that before the roll takes place, though. Borrowed success is a new one we're trying out this season. Borrowed successes are really interesting because you do auto-succeed at whatever it is you're trying to do. However, I will roll a d20 each time you do a skill or attack roll or anything else beyond that. And if you get a success and I roll a 15, then that is the success that you borrowed. And so that action will actually fail instead of succeed because you already used the success in the past. So it's a bit of a gamble to use that one, but if you're in a spot where you really need something to succeed, it could be worth it. The $10 one, you can add a complication, and that is for you, the viewers, to do anything that you'd like, virtually anything at all that you want to throw into the story. Recently we had a one-shot where somebody threw in a complication where there was a giant, like Sasquatch-style chicken in the room, and we had to deal with that, and it was really funny. So anything that you want to throw in there, you can do. And then finally, the big ticket item there is the Phoenix Astra, which you can gift to the cast if you really want one of the characters to not die. So at any point, if somebody's health would go down to 0 hit points or less, that kicks in automatically if they choose to use it, and they will go back up to 1 hit point, therefore not dying or passing out. So it's super, super useful, especially when things get into a lot of combat. Probably won't need anything like that today, but in the future in the series, we might, and all of these do roll over from episode to episode. Other than that, the other way that you can do that is with guild coins. So if you're familiar with Twitch's new thing, they have channel points for all the different channels. Ours are called guild coins, and there's a few different things that you can do with those, most of which are on that list. But if you click on the little round black feather token symbol right below the chat bar, you can see all the different things that you can do with those guild coins, and you get those from just watching, hanging out with us on raids, different things like that. And if you're a subscriber, I believe you generate those twice as fast. So there's some cool stuff that you can do with those as well. I think that is all of our orders of business, so let's go around and do some quick introductions of our cast, and then we'll jump into the rules of the game, world building, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll start going counterclockwise, starting with Michael. Michael, tell us a little bit about Billy Bliss and a little bit about yourself.
Hello there, I'm Michael Wayne. If you've seen me, I've been about the webs, doing here and there. I will be playing Billy Bliss, who unfortunately talks like this for a good bit, so I apologize in advance if annoying. But when confident, is very proud in a luchador ways.
I love it.
Excellent.
That's amazing. Perfect. And we can find you on Twitter at the name right
Michael
below your
Wayne.
face, right? Perfect.
Yep. It's right there, I believe, right? Or is it over here?
Nope, you got it right the first time. Yep. I have to look at my camera my screen every time to see which way I'm actually pointing on the other end. Popping down from there, Econorlax was not able to join us today, but they should be back next week, and we'll introduce their character at that point. So going back around the screen here, we have Gwen next. Tell us a little bit about Xavier and yourself and where we can find you on the interwebs.
So Xavier is very much a bookworm. Black. What's the name of that race? What's the name of that race? Arcarian. Yeah, Black Arcarian.
Yeah.
Yellow eyes, black pupils. Likes to. Well, actually, he's a kid. Still likes to dress fancy. I'm gonna say still likes to dress fancy.
That's totally fine. Okay. And to give everybody a little bit of description there, the Lightbringer has two unique races other than human that I created for the world. Arcarians are typically various shades, can be just about any color of skin, but most will be blue, pink, or purple. They're humanoid with pointed elf-like ears and a prehensile tail similar to that of a succubus. So think like sort of like a tiefling, but a little bit different, a little less, for lack of a better term, devil-looking. A little more closer to human than a tiefling, but they do still have a tail. There's also Katarans, which are small, slightly cat-like race. If you've ever played League of Legends, think like Yordles, but a little more human-looking than Yordles. But they do have like those big ears, and they tend to be smaller and shorter, and very cat-like, other than the fact that they walk around like a human. And then of course there are humans. Billy is human, right?
I would
that
wager so, but I'm willing to change that if you want to throw something in.
Oh, it's totally up to you. I just wanted to make sure I had the right image in my head of Billy.
Yeah.
Well, most of Billy's inspiration is based around tall squalls, so I would think kind of like big, bulky.
Okay. Human would probably be the route to go with that. I love Tall Skull. He's awesome.
So.
Perfect. And then, where can we find you
Xavier's
on?
a bit of a bookworm and likes to study. Loves to study, actually.
Okay.
And is mainly out for knowledge, not adventure, but knowledge.
Okay, that'll come in handy.
Knowledge. And you can find me on the interwebs at Potato Hell on the Twitch and Twitter.
Perfect. And then we'll pass it on up to Callan. Tell us a little bit about Conrad and yourself. And you mentioned you had some links to share with us in chat as well. Please feel free to do so.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Callan, and I'll be playing Conrad Bentley. I think today we'll be sort of talking about the characters and working out a little bit more, but he's at his core, a very foppish kind of young British boy that likes to tinker and invent and be left alone in his room. And I think the sort of adventure will sweep him out of his comfort zone and into the wild world. I'm really excited.
Awesome.
This is my first time playing a game on stream, and I feel very welcomed to be here, very excited, in good company. You can find me here, I think, at Callenstein on Twitter. Mostly just posting about tabletop stuff. And yes, the accent might not give it away, but I'm Australian, and our country is currently very on fire. I'll post, I hope this will work. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that worked.
Yeah, so I've just posted in chat. There's 2 links to donate there, and up to 150 Australian, any donations that are made during this stream, I'll be matching.
Oh, wow.
So if you can, obviously, everyone's in different spots, but a lot of folks in a lot of need right now, and our government is not helping us, so we need other people too.
Yeah, for sure. And absolutely, if you have the means, definitely feel free to use those links. Because, very much would like to see all of y'all over there get some more help, because there's not a lot of it going on right now.
Thank you.
Perfect. So, jumping into the game, we are using Fundamental RPG, which is a system that I've written. It's a very simple D20 system. We're going to cover a little bit of the rules just to make sure everybody's on the same page and everything as part of our session 0. I'm just going to go over real quick some character creation stuff. So first of all, everyone's got their character alignment, correct?
Alignment?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, whether Order or Renegade. And it kind of doesn't matter a ton mechanically in most cases, but it can affect some things. So Order is basically your lawful side of things, and Renegade is basically your chaos side of things. So where would you say Billy lands on that? More on the Order side or more on the Renegade side?
I would say more neutral, because a luchador, yes, they are for truth and justice, but on the other hand, they're a lot of chaos. So
Okay.
I like the assumption that luchadors are just like paladins in this world. Just like upholding the law through wrestling. That's excellent.
well,
That's
that
fantastic.
is it. Yeah,
Okay.
truth, honor, donuts.
Love it.
Yes!
All right, and then for Xavier, is Xavier more on the Order side or more on the Renegade side?
Order.
Order. Okay.
Absolutely.
And how about Conrad?
No question.
I would say Order as well. Just like being wanting to be left alone in his room and wanting to just like work on stuff, tinkering, having everything neat and organized that feels very orderly.
Okay. This is going to be a lot of fun with a lot of Order characters. Given that I know what's coming. And then you've all chosen your virtues and flaws. So sort of an element that helps to round out the characters. You've got your virtues, which tend to help you and show sort of more of your positive traits as a character. And then you have your flaws, which tend to help round out your character, make you feel a little bit more three-dimensional, but can cause issues. So, Billy, what were your virtues and flaws?
Outdoorsy, and you said like it would be a +5 to anything scavenge wise, because I would imagine that's why Billy has this very luchador. Is they found a mask, and they found this comic book about luchadors, and it's essentially their Bible on how to act. And
Yeah.
is for why very much of the luchador. And the flaw is that someone really hates Billy, a mortal enemy. That there's got to be a heel for every face.
Perfect. And then for Xavier, what were your virtues and flaws?
Learned, which means I can reroll any any education roll once. Influential, which means I get a +2 to what is it? That's +2. Influential is +2 to speech, empathy, charm, and blend in. What? Blend in? Okay, with dealing with scholars.
Yeah. Perfect.
And the third virtue is mind like a trap, which means, what does that mean?
I believe that boosts your recall,
Yeah.
which is a passive skill.
+5 to remembering things. +5 to recall when remembering things.
Yes. If I recall correctly, it goes to your recall. And then you had 3 flaws?
Yeah, 3 flaws. Personal code. So Xavier's personal code is knowledge above all else. Simple.
Okay.
Simple and to the point. Xavier's out for knowledge, and not for adventure, but for knowledge.
Okay.
Unlucky, which means twice per session the GM can make me re-roll a successful roll.
Yep.
And weak stomach, which is -5 to lots of things. Might when dealing with intoxication, poison, or venom, or anything that has any kind of poison.
Yes. All right. And Conrad, what are your virtues and flaws?
So Conrad's virtues are learned, which is, as we were saying, it's like the 1 reroll. Is that like per day, per session? On
anytime you would do something dealing with knowledge, you can basically it basically gives you advantage on it on every.
Oh, in every check for the
every check.
education skill.
For education, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yep. So Conrad has that one too. He also has alert, which gives him a +5 bonus to sight because he's got great, huge glasses. I imagine he would lose that bonus should he ever lose said glasses.
Oh, I love it.
And engineer, so that gave him a +5 bonus to mechanical engineering, which that's applicable here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know how that overlaps with the tech stuff. But we might get into that.
If it's helpful, a lot of the it's for what you want to build. But a lot of that, we actually use that with the fundamentals, which my character would like roughly turn things into another thing, like broken things into that in building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's.
Yeah, and that's a good question too to clarify on the skills because there's a mechanical engineering skill and a tech engineering skill, both present in this system. And we're using both of those in this game. So mechanical is anything that has to do with things like physical machines, so gears, wheels, levers, that sort of thing. Technical is going to be anything that is more futuristic or computerized. In this world, the world that all of this came from was basically like a golden age of civilization. So very high-tech stuff, things like replicators and spaceships and all this really high-tech futuristic stuff. But it's been a few hundred years, and all of that was essentially destroyed, at least any way to construct that. So anything that you do come across that's going to be tech-related is most likely going to be very old, multiple times repaired, and have some quirks to it. So tech engineering will play a factor, but most of the stuff that you'll come across is a little bit more modern-day type stuff.
And that seems like a good way of like why Billy might know Conrad is like, Billy is very much at finding the things, and Conrad is more about actually putting a use and making them put together.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It's perfect.
With you like being an outlander.
All right, so
I love that.
and then
Oh.
we do have. Oh, go ahead. You had a question?
Oh, sorry. My flaws.
Oh, yeah.
really
I'm
quick,
sorry.
or-
Yeah,
No, you're
please,
good.
do.
They sort of tell a story together. It's truth teller, scaredy cat, and gullible. Because Conrad is a soft boy. Truth teller is he sort of starts to stammer a lot, and just can't bring himself to tell a lie. Scaredy cat is the first turn he starts like in the fetal position of combat. So he starts crouched, and I get a -5 to awareness, right?
Can we slightly change that in that Conrad just runs behind Billy instead
Yeah.
of?
That's excellent.
Absolutely. Run behind
That's
Billy
amazing.
and like crouch down. That's perfect.
Yeah, hide behind the wrestler. I love that. And gullible. So that gives me a -5 to gut feeling, discipline, and empathy skill checks.
Yes.
Which has led to me having a -1 passive intuition. So that's good.
That's amazing.
Really good.
Uh-huh.
All right.
And
Perfect.
Xavier's there to keep Billy. Is it Billy or Conrad? Conrad from falling for things.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then the system has just 4 attributes: physical, mental, spiritual, and personality, and those factor into various things. So when we were talking before, there was a little bit of a question about defenses. So fundamental RPG uses a bit of a rock paper scissors type mechanic when it comes to defenses. You've got 3 different ones: dodge. Hey April, how's it going? You've got dodge, deflect, and absorb. Which I need to. Not you, Google. My Google Home is just trying to. Like, can I help you? Yeah. So it is melee gets an advantage versus dodge. So if someone is dodging and someone is attacking with melee, the melee gets a +5 towards that attack. Ranged gets a bonus against deflect, and magic or technological weapons like laser guns and things like that gets a bonus against absorb. And most of those are pretty self-explanatory. Absorb is basically blocking or absorbing the brunt of the blow in some way. So with those defenses, basically at the end of every turn in combat, you'll just state which defense you're going to use. If it's the first round of combat and you haven't had a chance to declare one, then you can choose which one you use. But for the rest of combat, if someone's attacking you, then it'll go off of whatever defense you said you would use the previous turn. So if you, for example, if you notice that the enemies in front of you all have guns or they all have bows and arrows or something like that, then you'd know that dodge or absorb are probably decent routes to go. But if you see a bunch of people that they've got like brass knuckles or something like that, then dodge would probably be less favorable because they're most likely going to hit you with melee. There's a little bit of strategy involved with choosing your defense. And then you've got training points as well. I know folks have had a couple questions about that in the past. So your training points, basically you can use those on your attacks so that you can be better at combat. You can also spend them on instruments, tools, or a trade, and those relate to skills. So for example, let's say you took training into tools and you chose a mechanics kit, for example. Then those training points would go towards your mechanical engineering skill when you're using those tools for something. That's kind of how that works.
Exactly. I have exactly that situation and was going to ask if that's how it worked. So good example.
Perfect. Hey, Phoenix, how's it going? So Phoenix Astra in chat is actually what our Phoenix Astra is named after, because they are super awesome. Hello. So I think that's about everything as far as what you'd need to worry about on the character sheet. You have your passive skills as well, your awareness, intuition, and recall. Your awareness essentially replaces your, or not replaces, but it's the equivalent to an initiative if you're familiar with D&D. Your awareness score sort of dictates the order of combat as well. It also, I may ask you what it is from time to time to see if you would passively know what is going on around you in certain cases. Other than that, I think we've pretty much talked about all the main stuff. We're skipping over the magic chapter because you will not be starting with magic, but there is a really good chance that you will learn some later in the series. So if you do want to familiarize yourself with it, with the way those rules work between now and a few sessions from now, feel free. But the only school of magic that you'll have is light, and then there will also be one for dark. They function virtually the exact same way. They're just opposite sides of the same coin. And so when that does come about, think of it like you would if you've ever played Destiny, the light that they use in that. So all the different guardians or whatever they're called, they've got different ways that they use it. Like sometimes the hunters will pull out a really cool fancy gun, or the guardians will pull up a shield. So think of it kind of that way. Something like the light in Destiny, or kind of the way you'd use the Force in Star Wars. That's sort of how this magic works. And then I think that's about all we need to really cover for the rules. So for setting, we already mentioned that all of this is coming from a super advanced society that was destroyed. It being a few hundred years from then, a lot of the truth of what happened has been diluted and changed or forgotten. So as relatively young characters, you've been told all your life that the surface is dangerous and forbidden. Nobody goes to the surface because it's just a barren wasteland and nobody can survive up there.
I'm getting
you
Fallout vibes.
A little bit like that, yeah. You all do live underground in a very vast cavern system. You know that it used to be a mine of some sort. It's long past been mined of whatever resource they used to get out of here. But you have basically probably about a half dozen cities underground, connected by tunnels. But you're very, very far underground, so you've never seen natural light. The light that is present comes from bioluminescence and man-made light sources, basically. But there are gardens, there's underwater lakes and rivers and things like that. The city is a bit piecemeal. Like I said, the advanced technology was all destroyed, so the infrastructure to make stuff was destroyed. So civilization kind of had to start over. So you'll see a weird mix of some high-tech stuff. There's still computers, there's still tablets, though they are mostly old. So there's been no advancement in those. They're still the same exact way they were hundreds of years ago, but they still function and they're still useful. But you'll also see things like blacksmiths having shops in these cities, because there's not a whole lot of new fabricated materials being made. So there's a lot of blacksmiths, even some leather workers, things like that. So a bit of a mix of like your fantasy style city with a futuristic city. And that's what you've grown up in. Aside from, the things that we've talked about, pretty average kids, really. The only differences between, you as a kid in this story and us as kids, if we were a child today, is that you live underground, and you have these situations that are a little bit unusual to us, but normal everyday life for all of you. But yeah, you go to school. All the races get along. There's really no instances of widespread distrust or anything like that among the races. It's just perfectly normal to see Arcarians and Katarans and humans in the same room together. The schools all teach the same thing. Don't go to the surface. Don't take the stairs and the tunnels that go up. There's nothing but death on the higher levels. There's even some people that think the surface doesn't even really exist, that it's just a myth, that the entire universe is dirt and rock, and this is just your corner that you've cut out of it. Hey, Alex, thank you so much for those D4s. So that's 2 D4s to the cast.
3.
3 D4s to the cast. Wow. So that'll put you at 4. We did have 5. Oh, and 1 for me. Thank you. We did have 5 interactions on the tweet, so got a D4 from that as well. So we're starting out with 4 D4s for the cast and 2 for me at the moment. Speaking of tweet, if you would like to interact with that and help get more D4s to the cast, I am now out of points. No worries. There is the tweet to tweet all the tweeters and the twitters. So where were we? My brain is not working super great today.
Sort of what we've been taught. The
Yes.
world might all just be caverns.
Thank you. Yes, some people
Cabin
even think
world.
that the surface isn't even real. But there are some of the older generation that still tell stories about the light and the surface, and about the Sentinels, and how they rescued humanity from the darkness. So you've had some stories, kind of how we might think of mythology today, is how this has been relayed to you in this setting. But you're younger, so your imaginations are still, vibrant, and your motivation of coming together at this point is to talk about those myths, and you've all basically at this point known each other long enough and had enough conversations and gotten fed up enough with just the boring, stale life of being here, that you've decided you want to go see the surface. So you've sort of set out on this quest. You're still in the city. You're still preparing to leave. So you've got time to move around the city, talk to people, all sorts of things like that. But that is your goal. You want to go see the surface. You want to see the sky and the sun and all of these things that you've heard about in these myths that, your grandparents and great-grandparents have told you. Thanks for that, host April. And that's pretty much where we're starting. I do have one more mechanical thing that I wanted to do, and I'm going to sound a little bit mysterious because I'm going to know what this means and you won't yet, but it is important. So let me just get to a point where I can write something down here. Indeed. So we'll start with Conrad.
I already have one fear.
Concern. So Conrad, roll 1d6 for me.
Oh, goodness. Is that... Can I just do it like
R
this?
1d6.
1d6. Thank you so much. Crushed it.
6.
Nice.
Interesting.
Maybe. It's maybe nice.
Okay.
I feel good.
The 6 does mean something. That is all I can tell you so far. Xavier, go ahead and roll 1d6 for me.
I get a 6.
You got a 6 as well.
Yes.
Interesting.
No joke. I get a 6.
Okay. And Billy, let me have you roll a 1d6. A 3. Okay.
Right.
Okay, perfect. And we'll find out next time what Ty and Econorlax's characters end up being. So yeah, I can't tell you what exactly that means yet. You'll find out later. But I can tell you that it has to do with magic.
All right.
I am concerned.
I'm excited.
So yeah, that is related to how you get magic later, and what magic means to your character. So I think that is about all of the world building stuff that I had out of the way. We can get into some actual gameplay and roleplay here, but before we do any of you have questions for me?
Yeah, what does that roll mean?
Well,
Besides-
it has to do with magic and how it's gonna.
Okay.
I think. Oh, you go.
No, I'm waiting. That's why I had my hand up. You go first, Conrad.
Sure. Yeah, I think like most of my questions would probably just be about sort of our characters and where they are and how they know each other. But it sounds like we're getting into that. So
Perfect.
rules-wise, I'm ready.
All right, Michael.
Are you okay with like for Billy to have kind of like just a mishmash of like items they already have scavenged, or do you
Oh,
want? Okay, so
That's fine.
I
Like,
just wanted to know if because I can either go off the top of my head versus we need to find via play.
Yeah, starting
no,
equipment. That was also a question I had.
Okay. Starting equipment is basically what you would imagine a child or a teen would have. As long as it's not anything too outlandish or crazy, I'm totally fine with whatever you want to have. You're probably not going to have
Okay.
weapons unless it's like...
Xavier would definitely have a slingshot.
slingshot would be fine. A dagger might be fine because it could function as a tool and a weapon. But you're probably not going to have like a rifle or a laser gun or anything like that. But, you know, toys that could be used as weapons or tools that could be used as weapons are totally fine. Yeah, and let's start with you all meeting. We'll say it's after school, so it's you know, a little bit later in the day, early afternoon, and you're meeting in your favorite, maybe outside your favorite abandoned building, or in a field or something like that. I'll let you all decide where that is.
If we are
The
in like
library?
an old minefield, like because you said we're in like a place that did.
That
oil,
sounds
correct?
super dangerous, though. A minefield.
No. Like as in drilling oil, mining for ore.
Oh,
Oh,
mining.
Oh!
Yeah,
Oh.
mining field.
I see.
So yeah, it's basically like a giant cavern is where you are right now. Part of it is natural formed, part of it is man-made, but there are tunnels going every which way out of the cities. But the city itself is basically in a giant cavern.
I like the idea that there's this like old adobe like house that has bunches of holes in it that everyone just like passes by, and we've had that as a meetup because we all have to pass by it on our way home.
That's perfect.
Yes.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
very very easily
Very
done. You can have an abandoned like adobe little hut that you all meet
Little
in.
clubhouse.
Yeah.
yes, the clubhouse. And Xavier's corner of the clubhouse is a giant wall of books.
Perfect. And crime is virtually non-existent here because, I mean, it's humanity's not that large, or society as a whole, I should say, since there are 3 different races of people. But it's not that large. Everybody knows everybody, so crime is generally not done for the most part. So you don't have to worry about people coming in and stealing your books or anything that you leave in there. So you all meet up in your clubhouse, and you know what you want to do. You've all decided that you want to go see the surface. How do you go about planning that?
Woof.
Well, you see, pulls out map. If we go through here and then up through here, I think we can reach the surface.
I
Did
don't
you
think like that seems more like a third or level. Like we should be starting small and then build up to that. Maybe like just something a little smaller than say the surface? Because that sounds impossible.
Well, I'm not saying we go straight to the surface. I'm saying we chart our way. We just go slow. We take our time, and we make camp along the way.
I don't find myself agreeing with Billy quite often in times like these, but I think we should maybe advise some caution. How do you even know this map is up the right way? There's no... Who drew this? Did you sketch this?
I got it from my source.
Your
That's
source.
questionable.
Yes, they were quite questionable, but I am confident in the data because I have verified it, at least half of it myself.
Which children? Is your source also a child? Oh.
Well, of course. I mean, who else would I get it from? They said their dad. They said their dad was an adventurer at one point.
Well, that is very cool.
Yeah.
I suppose it's better than nothing.
I will say this. So, out of character, the surface is miles above you. In character, it's somewhere between a day's journey and a year is about what you know.
Between a day and a year.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're pretty sure you're going to need supplies, food, camping gear, that sort of thing.
Yes,
which
that's
you
what
don't
Xavier was
currently
saying.
have.
That's what Xavier was saying.
We would know that no one has, at least like no one that's ever attempted to go to the surface has ever come back. But people have tried
Correct.
before?
No.
There's some stories of people in the past that have tried to go to the surface, but they never returned. Nobody
Yeah.
in recent
Maybe
time
not
has tried.
confirmed.
Like
Right.
the person I got the map from, their dad didn't return.
It
Right.
seems like if their
Well,
dad didn't come back, maybe
Maybe it's a bad map.
Yeah, Conrad's smart. They know what they're talking about.
Well, on the other hand, maybe it's a good map and it worked and they made it to the top.
I see. That's the chance we're taking. I
well,
just
okay.
want to see how accurate it is.
Well, listen, maybe Billy is right and we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. The map is one thing. Let's talk about supplies. I've been saving up my lunches for the last 3 days. So I have 3 snack packs and a half dozen small pieces of fruit, some of which are going bad already. How have you all fared?
I have been saving money for.
Well, I'm not sure how many shops we'll find along. Oh, to spend here, of course.
Yes.
Yes, that makes sense.
I have. What's the money in this world? Like the equivalent of like $5.
That's actually a good question. I hadn't thought about that because previously there wasn't really money. It was like a Federation Star Trek type thing where everything was basically free. That's probably changed. So that's a great point. Bottle caps. It's probably not
Yes.
bottle caps, but something similar. So metal is something that is precious. So I'm gonna go with probably tiny metal ingots. So think like a really thick coin, and that's what's here. So you've got iron, we'll say copper, and gold. Gold being the most expensive, copper being the next most expensive, and iron being the cheapest.
I've got 5 copper.
Billy?
Well, I think that may be one way. I have been collecting my scabbage, and I think kind of like, because isn't it like if you promise someone a favor, usually you just, for a thing, that works if you don't got the coin. So, the worst case scenario, we say we have a favor to someone, we don't come back, we don't actually have to do the favor, too.
That's brilliant.
I don't know about
At the
that
same
one.
time, it seems kind of like lying, almost.
It seems dangerously close to lying.
Well,
It's certainly not telling the truth.
But the thing is if we come back, we do it. But if we don't come back, it's not as though we broke our promise. We just come back.
I applaud your ingeniousness, but I think you're misguided.
Just to be clear, are we planning on risking our lives and apparently our reputations on this mad journey that could take years and years to come back? Are we coming back? I hadn't even thought about that. I hadn't.
I thought we were just going, and yes, coming back.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you want to come back?
Well,
I'm doing this for the pursuit of knowledge, not for any kind of want to leave. I just want to know the truth.
Let me.
I suppose
have
the people
all of
here.
all of you do a quick education roll to see how much you remember, or how much you've paid attention in class about what the surface used to be.
Ooh, I'm gonna re-roll that.
Hey.
Nat 20,
even lower.
nice.
That's even lower.
Hey. What a smart luchador.
Shite.
So 18, nat 20 with a 23. So with fundamental RPG, you basically treat a nat 20 as being 10 higher than it actually is.
Oh, I should have rolled.
So that makes it a 33, which is huge for level 1.
Yeah.
And then
I have
goodness, a
learned
13.
it, so I could re-roll it, and I did, and it was lower.
Okay. So Xavier, you're hyper focused on this whole journey thing, and so you're not really thinking about what you learned in class or from the story. So you're focused on point B instead of point C. So it doesn't come to mind right away. Conrad, you do remember that they're a little bit from school. They talked about it, but it's mostly from the stories that your grandparents and those folks told you, that there should be cities on the surface. At least there were cities at one point. So maybe there's places you could stay once you're up there. Maybe there's even people left up there. So staying on the surface, if you believe the old legends, is not that implausible. If you lean more towards school, then it's probably like a wasteland. But the stories sound more convincing than your school did. For Michael, yes.
Can we just because I feel like the scavenge thing, maybe it might be because their father is a scavenger and that's where Billy learned this from. So that's
Yeah.
so that would make sense for why Billy might know it, but not everyone would be aware.
Yeah, that makes sense. So maybe your father came across some scavenge at one point that had maybe blueprints. Wow, words are hard. Blueprints for a city or something like that. So you know a little bit more than most people. Actually, with a nat 20 at a 33, yeah, you would even know that this city that used to be on the surface above where your city is was known as Echo City, and there was a big cathedral there that was pretty strong. That might even still be standing.
Well, I again, I don't think of this as a completely impossible, because there is Echo City, and they did have a cathedral, but it just, I think that's more of we have an end goal, but we need to have steps before that. I got some stuff maybe I could trade at the blacksmith force, because I haven't sold any of the things I've scavenged.
This Echo City still. I know your father good at this work, at this scavenging, and I know that you have a lot of trust there. Yes, no, I know the pose and everything, right? But it's still, it's a lot. It's a lot for us to go on this too, on hoping that there's still something up there. Maybe we should make plans for a return trip, in case
Yes,
we have to come back.
that would seem very much prudent.
Okay.
Well,
So we'll get to
So we'll need-
a stopping point on the path, and then we'll come back. That sounds more reasonable.
Yes.
maybe we're
Yes,
getting ahead of ourselves.
We'll get halfway there and then come back. And
Well,
then go back again and go even further the next time.
well,
And take our time. Go slow.
oh goodness.
I just want to make sure that this map is accurate and, chart the way and just see if there's even a surface to go to.
I suppose we'll find out one way or the other.
Okay.
I am just
Okay.
very curious.
Okay. So here's the big plan. We'll go somewhat apart along this map till we can find a resting spot, and then we will journey backwards, and maybe along the way see what we scavenge, what we can gain, and that way we can at least do well, maybe?
Yeah. I like
DM?
this plan.
Yes.
Do we is there any kind of social stigma to I imagine that it's definitely frowned upon, the stuff that we're talking about. Do we have any I feel like Conrad would be very worried that should we go and then come back, we might be ostracized or something. We might not be allowed back in.
You wouldn't be ostracized or anything like that. They wouldn't banish you. You'd probably get grounded for a long time.
Oh, that's worse.
That's worse. Yeah, much worse.
I mean, what
That's much worse.
you're planning is the equivalent of running away from home at this point.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's running away from home for something that could be, way better than life here.
See, this is why Billy was trying to hint at the scavenge, because at least worst case scenario comes back with something cool for their father, they're not going to get punished. So
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is even if you don't stay on the surface, you know that all the tech you have here came from there, so maybe you could find something that could really, help your city if you wanted to go up and then come back. That could be a motivation for you.
Exactly.
I think with us not knowing how far this trip is, I think we should do our best to be as prepared as we can, because we might cross a threshold of some sort and not be able to come back. I think we should be ready to. I hate that I'm saying this. To be in this for the long haul, because we might have to be.
I mean,
Well, here's a nice compromise. You have the map. Where would you say on the map looks like a good stopping place to, let's say, worst case scenario, we camp, we have a place to rest, we're safe, and then that way at least we go to there, and then we will decide together if we want to go forward or back. That way we're just having fun,
Hey.
exploring.
I had an idea.
I love
So-
this idea.
If you want, you can roll education or naturalist to see how well you're able to read this map. And outdoorsy would apply to that.
This is Billy?
Yes. Like, that's why, like, trying to find it on the sheet so I can do. So it should be naturalist, roll, and then 5 bonus, correct?
I believe so. I'm just double checking outdoorsy because I haven't used that
Mhm. It's 5.
virtue in a while. Yeah,
I
plus
used
5
it
on
just-
naturalist rolls.
So 25.
25.
Wow.
Nice. You read the map quite well. As a matter of fact, in doing so, you're able to tell that the map is crude, but not ineffective. And you see a tunnel on the outskirts of town that looks like it leads off in a direction that connects to some of the old mining tunnels that may lead up towards the surface, at least get you a couple levels higher than where you are. And there's something that's marked equipment room ? Which looks like it might be a good place to rest if it is in fact a room.
Ooh.
Okay, this equipment room. I feel like that's A, we got a place to rest. B, we got something to scavenge. Or C, worst case scenario, if we're stuck there, we have a place to fortify ourselves and protect us from the bad things.
I wonder.
I should note too that you three do know that you have 2 other friends that are going to meet you at the point wherever you decide you're going to start the journey. They said they're going to meet you there and catch up, but they had to take care of some other things to prepare for their own selves.
They're in detention.
Sure, that works. Detention. I love it. Which of course will be Ty and Norlax next week when they're able to join us.
Okay. Okay. How's this then? We tell our families that we're going on a trip, and that it will be a few days, and that way. And that's not a lie. And should we get to this place and we find that this is all very scary and a very, very bad idea, not that I'm saying it is, but maybe we come back and then we're not in trouble when we come back?
Well, for me, as long as I can find something, my dad does not care. Because that at least means I'm following in his footsteps. Now, other dad, maybe not, but I'm okay with what other dad, because dad always makes things right in the end.
Yeah. My mom's told me that as long as you gain knowledge, it is a worthwhile pursuit.
You have very understanding parents.
Well, I would be in huge trouble because I'm a child. So, and also I'm the only one that can't lie. So great, awesome, wonderful. Maybe one of you can give my cover story to my family, and then we'll be sorted, and I'll just never see them again.
Anything for you, Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonderful. I feel much better.
Okay. So your plan is to head out, get supplies, and talk to your parents now, right?
Mm.
All right, perfect. I think this is a great spot. We're going to do a quick intermission, give everybody a chance to stretch your legs, think about what you're going to tell your fictional parents, and we'll just take a quick break, about 5 to 10 minutes. So yeah, stretch your legs, use the restroom, grab a drink, whatever you need to do, and we will be right back.
Awesome.
So I hope you all enjoyed your break, got a chance to stretch your legs and whatnot. So yeah, our party is ready to go buy supplies and convince their parents that this is a good thing that they're going on this trip to a place. So where do you go first?
If you don't have any problems, like Billy's first thought would be just tell their parents and then head to the blacksmith.
Okay, we can start with Billy's parents. So you head to your home. Are Conrad and Xavier in tow, or are you
That's
talking
up
to
to
your own
them.
parents, or doing something else?
Like that's up to
No,
them if they want to follow.
Xavier's gonna tell his parents.
Okay. So we'll start with Billy's, and then we'll go to Xavier. What's Conrad gonna do?
Would I be able to tag along? Tag along with Billy in the hopes that Billy will also be there to assist in Conrad's flailing attempts at deception.
All right, perfect. So we'll start
Excellent.
with Billy and Conrad. You've walked into Billy's home. You don't see your parents off the bat, Billy. What do you do?
Billy would just go, Dad! Other dad! Dad! Other dad! Just doing that on repeat as they're walking through.
Let's see which dad answers first. So Michael, evens or odds?
I'm gonna go with odds, because that seems more likely to be other dad and more fun.
Actually, I was thinking the opposite of that. So it was a 2, so that actually ended up working in your favor. It is other dad. The pops around the corner and is like, Billy!
Dad!
How was school?
You know, standard BS about how the world is and all that.
I trust you didn't skip PE. You know, physical education's very important.
You know, I punched my way!
Good lad, good lad. Oh, hello, Conrad. Good to see you.
Hello, Mr. Bliss.
Hey, we're gonna go exploring for a couple of days and see if we can scavenge anything good along a tunnel.
A couple of days. That's quite a long time. Are you, is anyone supervising you?
I'm doing the supervising.
I'm not so sure you're ready for a trip like that. Give me a charm roll.
I don't have good charm.
This will be interesting.
Conrad is just going green in the face. Oh no!
Oh goodness. You do have a D4 that you could add to that.
No, I want this is fun. This is good.
Okay. So other dad goes, I'm just not convinced. I think you need to have someone with you to supervise. Which tunnels are you going into?
Oh, well, we got this map that dang it. Xavier. Yeah, Xavier. Here, they got a map and it's leading. And it looks to be one of those like old ones that Dad had talked about, like near that lead potentially to Echo that he had in his blue map.
The person who made the map went missing shortly after. If that helps, that might be good.
Yeah, we rescue. We helpful.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So other dad turns to Conrad and goes, the person who made the map went missing.
Yes, but maybe that meant it's a good map because maps go to places and maybe they're at one of those places.
That's a bit concerning actually, if they didn't come back.
Well, if it was a bad map, they would have come back right away because it would have been wrong. So the fact that it led to somewhere meant that they went to somewhere other than here, which means it's a map by definition.
Yeah,
right?
Conrad's right.
Roll speech there, Callan.
Oh.
Good news
Okay.
is it's not charm.
That is good news.
But
just
you
seeing
are
it-
trying to logic this, so
Ah,
6.
excellent.
I'm not sure I follow your logic there, Conrad.
It's yeah, it's all right.
le-
There are a few that do. Mm.
I tell you what, Billy. Go ask your other dad, and you know he knows more about these tunnels and scavenging, and I trust his judgment. So see what he thinks.
Okay.
Yes, Billy, go ask your other dad.
Okay.
Mm.
Billy gives him a bear hug and then just goes looking for dad and just go, Dad! Screaming that the whole way, looking through each room.
Okay. As you both leave the room, Conrad, Billy's other dad gives you a clap on the back. Just you know.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Roll might for me real quick to see if you
Oh.
fall over from this. 13? Okay. It causes you to stumble a couple of steps, but you don't fall over. And he goes off to, I don't know, lift weights or something like that.
good luck.
Eventually, Billy, you find Dad, and goes, "Oh, hey, Billy, I didn't hear you come in.
Wow! I thought I was yelling!
Oh, I had my earplugs in. I was, soldering or welding and whatnot.
Yeah, I need to make it louder then, is what you're saying.
Please don't.
Well, I have the earplugs out now. What do you need, Billy?
Yeah, well, other dad wanted me to ask you, like, we're gonna go for a couple of days to explore a tunnel. You know, like one of those ones on the blue map that might lead to Echo. So I figured there'd be good scraps there.
That's a dangerous area. We haven't really explored it yet. Let's see. Do you
But
have
we
the
got
map?
a map!
Well, let me see the map.
Okay. And Billy will search for it and think, oh, wait. Xavier or Conrad might have it. My bad. You know me, I'm not the brains.
It's in my backpack.
Oh, okay.
Are you okay there, Conrad? You look
Yes,
a little
Mr. Bliss.
green.
No, it's fine. I'm just nervous.
Nervous? Why are you nervous?
Oh, because I believe your child is about to bend the truth some. Here's the map anyway. Your partner looked at it and said it was a terrible idea. I hope you think otherwise.
Wow, I didn't know you could bend truth. I'll have to try that. Like, where do you grab on truth to bend it?
Of course you would go straight to that. Here's the map.
So Dad Bliss takes the map and looks at it. Goes, well, that's Conrad's not helping your case here, Billy. I hope you weren't planning on lying. But let me see here. All right.
What's this
Oh.
lying?
It's when you say something that's not true.
I'll have to try that someday.
No, that's a bad thing.
Why?
Because
We might be
it's
here a
not-
while.
It's not good to tell a lie because then people won't believe you later. Plus, it has the potential to cause horrible consequences.
Why?
Because
Oh,
that's
here
the
we go.
way the world works, Billy.
Why?
Every time.
And Billy
I tell
is
you what.
continuing this with the idea that it'll annoy his dad and just saying, you know what? Go do that.
You're not wrong. Because the next thing he says is, all right, fine. You know what? Just stop asking questions. I know the area you're talking about. It is pretty stable. Just don't go above, level 2, which is the next level up from where you are now. Don't go any further than that, and it'll be fine. You can even take the family tent with you if you'd like.
You mean it? I really can?
Yep, just make sure you're back. If you're not back within 2 days, then, we'll start to worry, so don't make us worry.
Yes, Dad. And just bear hugs him.
April said, because I said so. Yep. Perfect. So yeah, you have permission from your parents and a tent that's big enough to hold all 5 of you. Once you get the other two kids with you.
Goodbye, Mr. and Mr. Bliss. We maybe we might see you again, ever. As we're leaving.
You hear other dad is the one that's by the door and is like, well, I hope we do, Conrad. I do hope we see you again. See you pretty much every day, so.
So far. Bye.
Bye.
As the 2 of you leave, other dad leans over to first dad and goes, "Weird kid."
All right.
And but yeah, you got permission and a tent. Popping over to Xavier's household. Xavier, you walk into your home, and you also don't see your parents right off the bat. So how do you go about getting their attention?
Sarah, Lucy, Moms, I'm home.
I see what you did there.
Yes. I know you'd enjoy that.
All right, fair enough. So a blonde head pops around the corner, goes, "Xavier, what did I say about calling me that? I'm your mom."
Oh, sorry, Sarah.
And my name's Lucy, but call me Mom. I am your mother.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Mom.
That's better. How was school?
School was interesting. I learned a lot.
Oh, that's great. Well, dinner will be ready in about an hour. So make sure you do your homework and, wash up first.
Oh, yeah. There's this thing that means the friends are going on. We're going on a fact-finding mission.
Fact-finding mission. This sounds like something your mother would put you up to. What is this fact-finding mission?
Yeah, so we're going to the surface?
No,
Eventually.
you're not.
Eventually. We're going first to a storage room.
Okay, where is the storage room? And who are you going with, and whose parent is joining you?
So it's with Billy and Conrad.
Okay. I'm not crazy about that Billy kid, but he's all right, I guess.
Oh, Billy's
Conrad seems
strong.
to be a good boy. Stays out of trouble.
Yeah.
So I guess if they're both going, that's fine. But what? Who's taking you? What adult is involved?
So as of right now, no adult is involved.
Okay. See, that's what mommy and your other mommy call a red flag. So. Yes, you were going to say something else, Xavier.
So we're not going too far, and we're probably going to be back. And
I would hope you're going to be back.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too far.
Roll charm, Xavier.
Oh, come on.
And good luck.
Yeah, 'cause this is Lucy. So that's an 8 plus 2 is 10.
Yeah, she's just like giving you the look like, that's a great story. A work of fiction that is not actually going to be happening. Like, yeah, I'm not letting you go into those tunnels without an adult. And you're definitely not going to the surface.
But it's pursuit of knowledge. You said that was the highest goal.
Yes, like books, reading,
Yeah.
controlled
but
experiments in safe atmospheres.
How do books get written?
Yeah, you're not going. That's all there is to it. If there's an adult going, or you have some adult supervision, then fine. But you're not going with a bunch of other kids up into those tunnels.
Aww.
Oh, rats.
You could try to get adult supervision, or you could try talking to other mom without Lucy knowing. Or you could just sneak out. There's other options, but Lucy is definitely not giving you permission to go.
Yeah, I know. I know. that is what I expected when I named her that.
So if anybody doesn't know, and last season we had a show called Star Chaser, which I played a character named Lucy, who had some romantic involvement with another character named Sarah. So that's what that was a callback to.
I love it.
I loved it. I just had to.
That's great. So your mother is standing there with her arms crossed, looking somewhat annoyed at you. Xavier, what do you do?
So Xavier's gonna go to his room for a little bit to start doing his homework.
Okay.
And then like 10 minutes later, Sarah comes home. Because he's got this time
sure.
down to a T.
Sure. We'll say about 10 minutes later, your other mother, Sarah, comes home.
Mom.
At that point, Lucy and Sarah both go, yes, at the same time.
See, this is why I use your names, usually.
Whatever. Which one of us are you trying to talk to?
Sarah.
Yes, Xavier.
So, I want to go on a fact-finding mission.
Okay. Fact-finding missions are good. Where is this quote-unquote mission?
We're going to a storage shack with technology and stuff.
Okay. And who's we?
Billy, Conrad, and me, and 2 others.
Real quick, Xavier, roll hearing for me real quick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I am trained in hearing.
Eavesdropping is what mothers do best.
That's a 20.
You know what? You're unlucky.
30-20.
So let's have you re-roll that for your unlucky flaw.
So that's a 2.
Yep.
Plus 6, that's an 8.
Okay. Continue with your story. So you mentioned Billy and Conrad. What else were you saying to Sarah?
And 2 others. And yeah, we're going to see what's in that equipment room, in that shaft in the map that I acquired a week ago. Remember that?
No, I don't really.
I showed it to you.
Xavier, you show me a lot of things, and Mommy has a very busy job at the library. What was the map again? Where is it exactly?
So Conrad has a copy of it. but I have the original right here.
Okay. And where on the map are you going?
So here, points to the shack, which is we determined it was a 2-day journey to there.
Okay. Yeah, I know that area. It's pretty stable. It's not that dangerous. That should be fine. What adult's going with you?
Why? Billy's dad.
Billy's dad. Okay. Roll charm.
Out of character, you are aware that's not happening, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Right through his teeth. 15 plus 2 is 17.
Okay. Okay. Wait, which dad?
The weightlifter.
Oh, I'd feel better about it if the other one was going. They're more familiar with the tunnels, but well, I guess, you know, other adult supervision is fine. And Lucy said it's okay.
Yeah.
Roll charm again.
Oh gosh.
Of course she said yes. That's why I'm double checking with you.
So that's a 9
9.
plus 2, 11.
Do we still have D4s that we can?
Yeah,
You do.
Yep.
You've got 4
we have a
of them.
D4. Let me roll a D4. So that's a 2. So 13 total.
13. Okay. You do a decent enough job of convincing Sarah, and right at about that time, you hear from around the corner, and Lucy comes around the corner.
Oh, hi, Mom.
Yeah, hi. Don't hi mom me. What is it that I said earlier? That you were just saying?
That we could go to the tunnels?
Yeah, I did not say that. I said the exact opposite of that. So you are in serious trouble, young man. Both mothers look at you very crossly, and you are ordered to your room and you are grounded for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Popping back over
Perfect.
to Billy and Conrad.
Oh goodness.
I can't believe they trusted us with a family tent.
I can't believe that worked. You just said what we were doing. Also, can I point something out? The word that all of these adults keep using to describe the place we're going is not safe, it's stable, implying that there are places that aren't. What is ground when it isn't stable?
It's rocky.
It's fine. Well, I know Xavier's fine because he's got a talent for lying and he's capable of it. Unlike I.
Hey, worst case scenario, we'll check back.
Narrator
and
voice, Xavier's horrible at lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, we got the tent. We can show that. Like, my dads have never trusted me with the tent. That is a family honor.
It does seem auspicious, yes. Goodness. Well, might as well go in.
Okay, yeah, and remember, if my dad would not, if he did not trust it, he would not have given us the tent. So remember, like, they
Alright.
trust that it's safe.
Alright.
Okay, and if you feel wrong, here's what you go with. It's relatively safe for the risk that is involved, and the risk is very minimal.
Risk that is involved. Alright, I think I've got it. Thank you for the help.
No problem, buddy.
You learned what lying was 10 minutes ago, and you're so good at it.
Oh, I didn't lie. I don't know where you grab to hold on to the truth to bend it.
I knock on the door. Wait, it's my house. Hello?
So you knock,
Help!
you knock on
I'm
the
flustered
door,
already. I open the door.
and one of your parents is already walking to the door to answer it.
If like it doesn't matter one way or the other. I like the idea that Conrad's home life is like a little commune. Like he's related to his mother and maybe like a handful of siblings, but there's like a dozen or so people like living in this cramped space, and everyone's like they're all tradespeople.
Oh, perfect.
It's it like that sort of led to his like tinkering spark, I guess.
Okay, perfect. So let's say it's like an uncle. Then.
Sure.
An uncle.
Can it be Grunkle?
Grunkle, great uncle. So your relative of the who is a man.
Sure.
Tries to open the door right as you open the door. Goes,
Goodness. Sorry, Julius. Hello. Good afternoon. I'm back from school.
hey, Conrad, I see that. Why did you knock?
I've got a friend.
Hello.
Billy's here. I thought it would be rude not to. We didn't come straight from school. We were hiding before, but now, hello. Good afternoon. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Billy. Good to see you again.
You can see Billy's holding
your...
a tent, which means we're trustworthy.
I don't follow, but I do see the tent. Did you want to talk to your mother?
Sure, that probably makes sense. Sorry.
She's in the kitchen.
Family tent. That's why it's a lot of trust.
It's a family tent. Listen, I'll tell Mother. Come this way. Excuse the mess.
He points to the kitchen. As you get in there, you can see that your mother is not cooking, but currently there are sparks flying as she's welding something together, trying to fix a computer. And so she stops what she's doing, pulls the little helmet plate up, and goes, "Oh, hey, Conrad. Hi, Billy.
Hello.
Afternoon, Andrea. I hope your work is treating you well."
Yeah, I've just about got this fixed. How was school?
It was marvelous. I've forgotten most of it. It was good. I wasn't thinking about school. I was thinking about this. What we're about to ask you. What we've just been talking about all afternoon.
Well, I suppose it's natural for young children to have exciting plans that take their minds off school. Just don't let it affect your grades.
No, of course not. It might. So
You'll give us an A if we do well.
That is true. Why do you have a
Mother?
tent?
Because my family trusts me with it.
Both of us.
Grand.
Both of us. His father's trusted both of us.
Yes.
Yes.
No, never in my life have I been trusted with a tent. That should tell you how special this is.
Right.
So,
okay.
Mother,
Conrad,
myself, and 4 of my associates have been planning for some time an extracurricular activity.
Okay, those are good. It's good to have a well-rounded education.
Yes, I chose those words because I knew you would react in this way.
Right. Is this like sports or something like that?
I honestly hope not. But I will be accompanied by one of said compatriots, is the ever trustworthy Billy Bliss right here. And should there be any degree of roughhousing, I would be in good hands. I would be behind a set of good hands, hiding, cowering. That would be you.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, Billy, you're old enough to start babysitting at this point. I think so. That should be fine. Where, like, what are you doing? Where are you going?
We're going through a tunnel, I think, right?
Yes. We are going camping, as you can see here.
Camping. That's good. That's that.
We will be camping.
Those are good skills to know.
Yes. I do not know any of those skills. I sleep in a very comfortable bed here. But we will be going somewhere stable. The
Stable
degree of risk we are facing is appropriate for the reward.
Okay. I mean, learning camping skills is a very admirable goal.
Yes.
And, the tunnels can be a little dangerous, but if you've got Billy there, you should be fine.
Yes. Billy, could you talk so I don't have to?
Ma'am, we're gonna be going to explore a thing which Xavier got a map to. So we're gonna go into a tunnel and we're gonna get supplies. I got a tent and things, and we're gonna go explore for a day or two, and then we're gonna come back, hopefully.
Well, yes, that is a requirement for permission, is that you do come back. But that sounds just fine. It's the weekend. Go have fun camping.
On the bright side, Mother, if we don't come back, then you won't have a son to punish anymore. So that's you can think of it that way if that's easier for you. It doesn't help.
Conrad with his jokes.
Wasn't a joke. Keep going.
Just let it play as a joke. Go for it, Conrad.
Haha.
See? Joke!
Let me get a charm roll from both of you.
Hey!
Advantage.
Nice. You're both very charming, and because Conrad, your mother is actually very laid back, it's perfectly fine. She's like, okay, whatever, you kids and your stories and imaginations and whatever. All right, well, yeah, we'll see you back in a couple of days before, make sure you're back before school starts on Monday. And my brain just went completely blank. She was gonna say something else about a thing.
We'll do our very best to be back by Monday, Mother. If we're not back,
we got a good reason.
We have a good reason, which is
the reasons, because the reasons are important. Because of the reasons.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what code you kids have come up with for your camping trip, but just go have fun. I have to get back to work. And she puts the shield back down at her face and starts fixing her thing again.
Can she not hear me because she's welding at this point?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
She cannot hear you.
Well, goodbye, Mother. If I never see you again, it's likely because I'm dead. I love you very much. I might be back Sunday evening or never. Have a good weekend.
And she just goes, okay, honey, that's great. We'll see ya.
That went well.
Yes, but Conrad, just one of those things, when you say something nervous where you feel like you are unfortunately saying something negative, play it off as a joke, as you see, and then it's not technically a lie because you're trying to say something that's humorous to make someone smile.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's a joke, not a lie.
I might make the case that my impending demise is not quite as humorous as you might find it to me, but laughter is the best medicine or something. I think I'm going to be sick. And I just run outside.
Perfect.
And Billy just runs after.
Okay. I'm going to assume that you both get whatever, clothes, favorite pillow, stuffed animal, whatever that you want from your homes. By the time that you're done, Xavier, are you staying in your room doing your homework, being grounded, or are you sneaking out?
Oh, Xavier's gonna do his homework and then sneak out.
Okay.
Excellent.
When everybody's asleep.
Okay. So you're waiting until everyone's asleep. So Billy and Conrad, do you go to Xavier's house looking for him, or do you just go get supplies first?
Supplies first, and I would think at least at one point we do go and talk to the blacksmith.
Okay. All right. Well, you've both got, a decent amount of money for children. What do you want to buy? You can get just about anything that you would need. But what do you focus on as your priorities?
Well, a set of candles, likely, to make sure that we've got light to read by in the evenings. Oh, do we have a concept of day and night, or before rest?
You do. It's a little bit weird. There's the man-made lights that are on during the day cycle, and then at night it's just the bioluminescent moss and plants and things like that. So there is a bit of a
cool.
day-night cycle, but it's a little bit different than what we would consider day and night.
Yeah, I love that.
But
Okay.
it is on. It's still a 24-hour cycle.
Okay. Well, we'll need to make sure that we've got rations for at least 14 days, perhaps. 21. Okay, 3 weeks. Let's say. We'll need to make sure we've got ample medicine, bandages, gauze, some perhaps rubbing alcohol.
I got some of that, but it's the cheap stuff, not the expensive stuff, so it only might work somewhat.
Well, it's only our lives on the line, so I'm sure we can make do. Well, I'll be bringing a set of pajamas. I've got my backpack and my quilt, and my 2 pillows, because I put one between my legs, which helps with my posture.
Fair.
Maybe an inkwell. I've got a book bag slung over my shoulder, and I imagine Xavier will probably be bringing 4, knowing him.
Yeah, where is...
Well, yes, he was supposed to meet us in the markets, but, I mean, he's likely working hard on extra credit or something.
True. He needs to work on that. Like, he doesn't have, like, the excuse like we do of just we're in PA together, so I can do your stuff for you.
Yes, remarkable that you're so gifted that you can do my physical education for me, but that's just your talent.
Yeah, but like no one notices when you're just hanging on my back, so it's like...
Right, I didn't think they would count push-ups if I'm just slung around your back, and yet here we are. It's truly marvelous. Well, okay, I think I've probably got about everything that I can carry, and it's a small rucksack over my sort of limp shoulder, and I guess Billy would be carrying like 2 backpacks and then 2 duffel bags under arms and something like that.
Yeah, we'll say it takes you about an hour, maybe 2 hours to get all that stuff, and you have plenty of money to do that. You do get some funny looks when you ask for, like 3 weeks worth of MREs, basically, dried food and things like that. But for the most part, nobody really stops you or questions you, really. You just get some funny looks. You mentioned you wanted to talk to the blacksmith before you leave.
Yes, and like Billy would like plop down like several of the things like they had scavenged and say, Okay, does any of this look like it's of value to you?
Let's see here. Let's see if any of it is a value. Let's do sixes and evens or odds.
Odd.
One, two, three, 4 items that you have are of interest for their metal content. Would you like to describe what those items are?
Okay, I would think that the first one is of an empty toolbox. Like it's just pure metal. Well, that someone didn't notice because it was the same color as some dirt.
Okay.
One would be like a very, like, almost looks like a broken pickaxe where like only the metal pit was there and a little bit of the wood.
Okay.
And the other last two things were what looks like gaming peripherals. Like they had little gloves things, like, and lots of metal and machinery just wrapped around it, but it's like closer to maybe like the power gloves, but for 2 hands.
Okay.
Excellent.
Perfect. So he takes a look at it and he goes, all right, I could probably give you about 10 iron for the toolbox, 3 for the pickaxe, and probably a gold for the gloves.
Okay, so would you say any of that would be enough to buy one of those like knuckle thingies you always are selling?
Knuckle thingies.
Yeah, you put on the metal and the knuckles, put them over.
All right. Do you mean brass knuckles?
Yeah.
Those are quite illegal, Billy.
I mean, I'm really not supposed to sell that to people other than the guards there, Billy. So I'm not sure I should. You can try to come up with a convincing story as to why he should with speech, or try to just be lovable and convince him with charm.
No, like, hey, I can understand that. I just want to know, because that's a dream object. If it ain't, because, like, I'm willing to cut it, because I'm thinking, like, you just give me the copper and those, and then you're not going to have to deal with a whole lot of that means more money on your end. But I'm okay with just collecting the coin instead.
It's like, well, as far as cost goes, one piece. So for one hand would be about 3 iron and 2 copper. So the gold would cover that cost.
See, if you're good with that, then, and I'm willing to take kind of like that, and maybe kind of like some odds and ends. You don't think kind of like be worth a whole lot, and that'd be good enough for me. That way, like, you got more to work with.
So he's not gonna do it with just the words, but if you can roll speech or charm to try to push it over the edge.
Okay, I just wanted to try as best as I could logically before I tried. Like, okay, I'll try speech.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. That's pretty close. Do you want to use a D4? That would most likely get you where you need to be.
Sure, why not?
By the way, I do have influential, which I should have gotten a +2 to all those rolls.
Scholarly mothers.
Yeah. It probably would have worked with Sarah.
So 21? That's
3?
pretty good.
Yeah. It's like, all right. Well, since your other dad is volunteer guard, I guess it'd be okay. Just don't tell anybody that I gave it to you.
Of course not. Same as I won't tell anyone about the shurikens I sold you.
Yes, let's not mention that. So he gives you.
If it helps, he would only be using it to fight imaginary monsters. Hopefully imaginary.
Oh, Conrad the jokester.
Yes.
Right.
That's me.
As long as it's monsters and not, people, then that's fine.
Never. Like that, we would never do that. It's not like other people would attack us.
Well,
that would be
that
odd.
one,
Yes.
Your nemesis.
Nah. Like even him. Like, hey, he wouldn't dare to do that.
Not after you've got illegal street weapons, no. Thank you, sir.
So he hands you the knuckles, just one set for one hand, and 3 iron.
Yes. And just puts it on the right hand and just like eyeing it almost like it's a mystical object. Just yes.
Perfect.
I like the idea that like with Conrad being a sort of tinkerer and Billy being a scavenger, the idea that like occasionally like Billy comes back with stuff that Conrad kind of really wants, and it always hurts whenever like Conrad has to watch Billy trade away a bunch of things for money, because it's like as they're walking away, Conrad's like, oh, those video gaming gloves look quite charming. I'm sure your brass knuckle will prove its value, though.
I'll tell you a secret. Those weren't the only ones. I just made it look like that way so he would think it was a whole lot.
Marvelous. Again, a master of deception in under a day.
I'm not deceiving. I'm doing.
I'm not sure if you know what the word means.
Like my dad, like he said that you never show all your cards. You want to show a couple of high value ones, so that way you always got something when you need it.
You understand?
Yeah.
Poker involves no small amount of lying.
Nah.
Fair enough. You're right. You're always right.
No, I'm not always right, but would my dad do lying? Come on.
No, obviously not.
Yeah.
So you have your supplies. You got candles and some electric lights as well. You're able to get enough food, your medical supplies. You're well stocked and prepared for a 3-week journey, all around. Xavier still hasn't shown up, and it's starting to get quote unquote dark, in that the man-made lights are on their cycle of tuning down to prepare everyone for the night cycle, which will take about an hour or two to fully go down.
By the way, Xavier went to bed early.
Okay.
Or this is not the first time Xavier's done this.
Xavier, so dinner was ready about an hour later. However, you were denied your dessert for being naughty.
It might be your last dessert ever. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
awful.
before you went to bed, your both of your mothers did tell you that they love you, and they seemed a little less angry.
Wonderful. That's gonna break their hearts if they don't find him in the morning.
Yeah. It'll break their hearts. They'll be crushed. Worse than that, they'll be very, very disappointed.
Oh no. Oof. Oof.
So with that in mind, how do you sneak out?
So Xavier has a rope that he bought a while ago that he uses to sneak out of his window at night. A lot.
Okay. Let's go with a naturalist roll. I believe would be the best fit for that. To see how well you
Wonderful.
do at tying knots.
With advantage. Could take an advantage.
Oh, you're gonna use your advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a 16 plus 4 is a dirty 20.
Okay. Or did you already roll 2?
Yeah, I already. The other one was 3.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had a. One thing with having 2 long-haired cats is you randomly will find cat hair on your mouth.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I find Oreo hair on my mouth a lot.
Yep. I was like, what is on my face? Oh, it's cat hair. Okay, so you do a decent job. You're able to get the rope tied, no problem. Now, last roll for this, blend in to see how quiet you are.
Awesome, with advantage, because I'm redeeming that. Okay.
So that was an advantage, and advantage is being used. Perfect.
Wait, Michael. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't see that. A
Oh.
switch. Awesome.
That's a dirty.
I love getting switches.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Nice. So
That's
you are
not
very, very quiet.
20.
You do not wake up your loving, caring parents as you sneak out of the house,
Very loving, very caring.
worrying them
Oh,
to no
gosh.
end the next day and making them very disappointed in you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Billy and Conrad, do you head over to Xavier's house as it's getting dark, or kind of
Yeah.
where are you at this
Yeah.
point?
Yeah,
Okay.
though Billy would take a moment, just like, this was one, like, it's a little special that I didn't want to, and pulls out one that does look like the old NES one, like has the D-pads and stuff on one glove.
Awesome.
Like, just, you don't tell anyone about this one, but it's much better than those ones I sold. Here,
Oh
this is
my-
one of those.
Goodness. I've never seen a set of gaming paraphernalia so immaculate. I grabbed the Nintendo Power Gauntlet and put it in my bag.
Okay. All right. Gwen has added a complication that the glove powers on. It is a functioning glove,
Like,
and it makes noise.
Start pressing buttons, trying to turn it off. Immediately flustered in the middle of the street.
Thankfully, it does not wake up Xavier's parents, as I just rolled for.
Right. I just like hug it to my chest, trying to mute the little like beeping and whirring.
Okay. You're able to do that, and you're able to find the power switch and turn it back off. And about that time, you see Xavier coming from around the house with, I assume, supplies of their own.
Yeah, Xavier's got a really, really big rucksack full of
All right.
books.
Give me a quick might roll to see how well you're able to handle that. These
Oh,
books are
I'm not.
heavy.
Yeah, that's a straight D20 because I have 0 in mind. So that's a 4. I'm keeping that because I love this idea.
Okay, so you are dragging it inch by inch across the ground, moving very slowly.
I foresee
There's not
problems.
just books. There's a lot of
I should sincerely hope it's not just books. Yes,
food.
books and food. I guess that's the big two. Billy, could maybe you lighten some of the load?
Okay. And then Billy will go over there, open up the bag, and start pulling out books and throwing them behind him.
Be careful with those! No! I have to do my homework. Please!
You brought your homework. Listen, I understand there's an assignment, but really?
Is that
I'm
lighten enough, or should I keep throwing?
No! Stop! The pursuit of learning never stops. Xavier goes and gets all of the books.
Oh, well, I suppose I did mean, could you carry some of them, Billy? Not distribute our good friend's belongings across the side of the street, but
Oh, then why didn't you ask that?
yeah, I suppose I'll try to be more literal on this journey.
Please help me carry them.
I can carry a few, Xavier. I admire your optimism and diligence, at the very least.
Okay. So you distribute the the books and whatnot, and I'm gonna say that Xavier and Conrad, you're probably close to your carrying capacity, and Billy, you're probably okay with your physical attribute. But the point being, if you pick up stuff later, you may have to pick and choose what you keep. If you're taking that many books with you.
Leave behind your science textbook.
Yeah. All right.
That's gonna kill Xavier, but.
So, you have your supplies, you're all set to go. Do you make your way over to the tunnel entrance then?
Suppose so. Is there anything else we need to do? We've given our flawless alibis. We've got provisions that we need. We've got the map. We have a tent, which
I know. Can you believe that they trust me with the tent?
It's more and more incredulous each time you yell about it. Yes. That anyone has trusted us. Xavier, did you come out the window?
No.
Oh, okay then. Well, I suppose we all got away with it in so many words. Which means there's nothing stopping us from going right now
Yes. Let's go.
out of the city,
Yeah.
out of the light and safety and comfort, and security and.
We have a tent. You said we have a tent.
We have a
Yeah,
tent.
Yes,
Yes.
that's a lot of security right there on its own.
It's a very thin piece of fabric.
How dare you?
It's a thick piece of fabric. Is that?
This can get many a pokes and still be there.
Many a pokes. Well, fingers crossed the monsters from all the stories can do little more than poke.
I mean,
And hopefully they can't work a zipper.
My
What
grandpa
what
went
material
and
is that
put
made
a
of?
knife into it and still couldn't break it. So I don't think a monster's gonna do it.
yes. It can.
It's a pretty
survive
sturdy material. Some sort of futuristic, lightweight material.
Kevlar.
So, like it feels like windbreaker material, but it's as strong as like a really thick canvas tent.
Well, it is better than nothing. All right. I suppose this is as close to a practical exam of physical education as we're ever likely to receive, Billy. So, as is always the case, I will hide behind you.
Oh, so you want to get on my back and I'll walk?
No, I think I can manage the footwork.
Okay.
Yes, but you go first.
But you go first, yes.
Yeah.
We'll follow back with the books at a small distance.
And
Okay, but that seems like you're gonna open yourself to attack that way.
A
No,
very
the
small
point-
distance.
the point is to not open ourselves up to it.
Perhaps we should tie a rope around each of us.
Then whenever someone gets dragged, we all get dragged?
Perhaps we shouldn't, you're right. Let's go. Let's just walk.
Well,
It's
here,
just one
like
foot
if
from the
you're
other.
worried, we can all do weapons check. I got a weapon. Do you got a weapon?
I have a wrench.
I have a book.
Okay. Do you have belts? Because we can make that book work. We get a couple of those, wrap it in a belt, and then you can just swing the belt around, and then you can whack with the book.
I only brought the one belt, and it is keeping my trousers up. So
I do have a couple belts.
Couple belts. Well, consider my fears put at ease. Couple belts. The world's our oyster. Let's go.
Xavier has belts to keep the books all nice and neat.
Perfect.
In the backpack.
Well, you are able to make it through the city, no problem at all. You get to the entrance of the tunnel, where next week you will find your other two friends that are going to be joining you. So we will end our session there. Is there any last comments or things that Conrad, Billy, or Xavier want to do before we go on a raid?
Xavier just looks back and just said, "Sorry, moms."
Oh.
One foot in front of the other, right, chums?
Yes, and then we'll soon be on our way. After one foot after the other, and we'll soon be on our way.
Oh, we're doing songs. Excellent. Marvelous. Great.
Fantastic. Well, that was a great session, Zero. We got a lot done as far as getting our setup done and going over the rules, and fantastic start to your journey there. Let's do some outros. We'll go opposite direction, and then we're going to go on a raid. So let's start with Callan, and please feel free to put that link into chat again to help with the
sure,
fighting the fires over there. For any that are not caught up on the news or haven't seen, there is a huge portion of the entire continent of Australia that is on fire, and they're really struggling to get those fires under control over there. So anything you can do to help is much appreciated.
There's I just put 2 links in chat. The first one will take you to a donation page for the Rural Fire Service, which are the actual people in brigades going out trying to fight the fires. And the second one is for the Red Cross, which is mostly going to be ongoing and sort of continued relief. Anything that anyone can give would be greatly appreciated. And if you do, like, sort of for the rest of the night, want to donate anything to that, if you just DM me a receipt, I will match the donation up to 150 Australian. Our government has not been helping us, so if any of you can in any big or small way, it would be greatly appreciated.
Very much so. And with that, what was your favorite part of the session, and then where can we find you next on the internet?
Favorite part? Goodness, that was really, really fun. I loved all the like family scenes, all of them equally. I think I very much love it's got to be Xavier saying I do my homework and then sneak out of home. That's that easily the best thing ever.
Fantastic. And yeah, it was fantastic having. I never would have guessed this is your first streamed game.
Oh, thank you. It was a wonderful time. Felt so welcomed by everybody and had a great time. I will.
I loved your character too.
It was, yeah, I love all the characters. It was great fun. And the setting seems really cool. Super excited for next week.
Awesome. And then we can find you on Twitter at the name right under your face, and then every Monday we'll be running the game. And then we'll pass it on to Gwen. What was your favorite part, and where can we find you next?
So my favorite part was Conrad not being able to lie to his mom and saying, yeah, sorry, if I die, I'm sorry. and then Billy playing it off his. No. My favorite part specifically was the line where Conrad said, "My death is not as hilarious
As humorous.
As humorous as you might
Yeah.
think." That was my favorite part, easily. You can find me here.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow for Hunters of Calamity, which is a Borderlands-inspired tabletop that we'll be doing on the Monster of the Week system.
Oh yes, that's
fantastic.
Gonna be fun.
So we'll pass it on to Michael. What was your favorite part, and where can we find you on the internet next?
My favorite bit actually was the fact that kind of like Colin and Billy just keep having this back and forth, and the whole bit about PE that just killed me.
That's great.
And the other one was when Sarah just comes around the corner, and you're just like, yeah, that's a lie, isn't it?
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm Michael Wayne on Twitter, Twitch, and just about everywhere. I'm just here and there. You give me a clip, I'll give you a GIF. Remember, we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you.
Awesome. My favorite part, there were so many great moments. But I think it has to be all the times that Conrad just blurts out the truth. It's so great. At the worst possible time, too.
He's precious.
He's great. I
That was
love Conrad.
so well played. I loved it so much.
Thank you. It was lovely. I love that. I was just like looking through the floors and picked that one. I'm like, yeah, maybe it'll come up. And then the entire session 0 is lie to your families and leave town.
Yep.
It was excellent.
I think that was probably my favorite. As for where you can find me next, I of course will be here tomorrow. Actually need to update the schedule because now we are having a show every single night other than Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So the same schedule all across the week, which is fantastic, easy to remember. Only exception being Wednesdays, which at 1 p.m. we have the Black Feather Tavern, which is just hanging out and chatting, and very, very, very chill.
Good thing you said that because I was about to ask.
Yes. Yeah, so tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, we'll be doing our first session of Hunters of Calamity, which will be a lot of fun. We've got a couple new faces on that stream as well, so looking forward to that. So we're going to go on a quick raid. We're going to go raid Georgie May, who's a variety streamer. She's a lot of fun, really great person. So if you're not already following her, be sure to give her a follow. Give her a follow. Words are hard. And then our raid call is, well, we have 2 belts. The world is our oyster. Because that was one of my favorite lines of the whole session. So, yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. And have a good night. Bye.
See ya.